If you're not creating original designs for your couples, you're missing out. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you why. Hi, I'm Jenny, and I teach wedding cake makers how to get the best referrals, to get the best leads that actual book your wedding cakes to grow your wedding cake business. Okay, thank you for being here. So when I first started out making wedding cakes almost 30 years ago, I was trying to please everybody. I tried to learn every technique that was out there. And at the time, it was these hideous Mad Hatter cakes. They were all these colorful cakes that were leaning over, and I did not find them attractive at all, but it was what was trendy at the time. So I started learning how to make them. And yes, I attracted clients and I actually made these cakes, but I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't my style and it wasn't fulfilling. So what happened was I kept attracting these people and they were the wrong people. So this is what I did instead. I was not contracted, but asked by a magazine, Boston Magazine, to make a cake for their magazine. They were doing a photo shoot. So they gave me the parameters and then I could design it however I wanted to design it. So I went ahead and designed it, and I was sitting in my kitchen, well, not sitting in my kitchen, standing in my kitchen working hard. It was a super busy weekend. I'd kind of forgotten about the magazine, and a box of the magazines came in. And this is, guys, years ago, before Instagram and Facebook even. I mean, this is a while ago when we actually had print publications. So the box came and I was like, oh my gosh, I said to my assistant, like, wait, I need to stop for a second and look. I want to see how our cake came out. So I'm flipping through the pages because when I opened the box, the cover was face down. I was looking through the pages and I saw the photo shoot. It came out beautiful. I'm like, oh, that's really pretty. And then I went to put the magazine down and I saw that our cake was on the cover. I was like freaking out. Now, guys, I was a small, tiny working out of my kitchen. I had like 200 square feet I was working out of. I was not even in Boston. I'm 30 miles from Boston, and here I was on the cover of Boston Magazine. Like, this was a big deal. So anyway, the magazine is in, like the grocery stores and stuff like that. I was in a networking event, and one of my planner friends came up to me and she said, oh my gosh, Jenny, I saw that magazine cover and I knew it was your cake. And that's when it hit me that I was as a designer and not just a cake maker. And I was like, oh my gosh, that like was such a pivotal moment in my career, because before that, I just was trying to please everybody. And then after that moment, I started designing for me and my couples. So I started asking them different questions. I started becoming a designer on my own, which I have this whole process that I go through. And it's not like a quick thing that you do in a day. This is like an ongoing process. And over the years, what I did was I was able to create my own look, which is part of my brand. It's very feminine. I have a very specific look, and people come to me for that look. And what that does for you is a few things. So, like, if you're just out there making every kind of cake for everybody, people are just going to go by the cheapest cake, right? They're just going to say, like, here, if you ever had people, they email you a cake and say, like, how much this cake? So sometimes they don't even use a full sentence. How much this cake? And they send you a picture and they just want to quote on the cake. They don't care about anything else, right? Well, that's fine if you want that to be your client. But if you really want to grow your business and if you want to get the referrals that actually lead to a growing business and make you a presence in the industry, you really have to develop your own style so that you can attract the clients that want you, and they can't, the key is they can't get that anywhere else. So, like, yeah, somebody can copy my cake, but I started it, and a lot of people are going to want to go to the source, right? So that is the why, and why you want to design your own. And also, like I said, it makes you irreplaceable, so that when people are looking for for somebody, they're gonna go to who they're drawn towards, right? They're gonna look at your website or look at your Instagram account, and you're going to be known for that. And that's what happens. That's what's happened to me over the years. After that moment, after I got out of the fear of trying to please everybody, and when I started to design for my couples, listening to them and putting my own style into it, because that's why they came to me, everything unlocked. And then what you can do, again, now you're desirable. So you can charge more, and you don't have to just put, I don't want to say cheap cakes because they're not cheap cakes, but you don't have to worry about your pricing because people are going to come to you for that. Okay. I want to show you the cover. So I found this. This is from like 2012, I think. So this is the cover. This is my first cover. I've had several since then, and several publications. But that was my first cover, guys. And I was like, what the heck? How am I on the cover? I work out of this tiny little hole in the wall in a tiny little town. So in my whole program, my whole coaching program, one of the 4 pillars of getting the referrals, I call it the 4 S's, is becoming a designer, and that stands for style. And the other 3, if you want to know what the other 3 are, I will put the link to a free training video in the description. It goes over the 4 S's of how and why you want to get referrals. Okay, but this is one of them. And in my coaching program, like I said, I do teach this whole process. My background's in art. I was an artist before I was ever a baker. So I do incorporate these elements into a lot of my work, and I teach this as well. So if you do want to know more about that, I will also put the link for that in the description, and you can you can always email me. I love hearing from you guys. So if you ever have a question or anything that you're struggling with, I would love to hear it. So put it in the comments or feel free to email me. But I did want to read you this email. This is a text from one of my coaching clients. And one of the biggest things that we learn in this whole process is how to become a designer so that you do become desirable and irreplaceable. So I want to read you, this just happened. We do little weekly wins, and she just posted this. This is from a week ago. And I just want to see if I can get this quickly. Okay. So, she said, this is her win for last week. So she said, I delivered a cake last weekend that was a design I created. Thank you, Jenny, for helping me. In the past, I was so afraid to step out on my own with designing. I haven't mastered it yet, and I'm still developing my style, but it's coming along. They met with me via Zoom, no meeting. Met with me via Zoom, booked the cake on the spot almost a year before their wedding. I was referred to them by the venue's wedding planner. Now, this is what I'm talking about. This is when it comes full circle. When you start becoming desirable and becoming irreplaceable, people are going to refer you for that. And that is when your business takes off. Okay. And that is when you don't have to worry about running out and trying to beat the doors down and attract every single new couple, because you're already going to be known in the industry, and you're going to get the referrals from the other wedding professionals that want to be associated with your brand and your style, and you're going to attract the clients that you want to work with, that appreciate your style and they appreciate the craftsmanship and the artistry of it. And they know that they have a special member of their team on their wedding team. So that is the goal here. Okay. So thank you so much for being here. I will put the link in for the free training if you want to know all about how to get referrals, why to get referrals, and what those 4 S's are. Okay. And I will also put the link for my coaching program, which starts in September 2026, and we put it out once a year, guys. So if you're interested in growing your business, let me know. All right. So have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye.